good afternoon. Welcome to the live adventures of Mr. Fish. My name is Mr. Fish, keeper of the dead man's Bible, where all the rules of society are thrown, tossed and washed away. Pain became my friend, happiness my slave. Money can't buy me, love can't hurt me, and it's those that hate me that make me. I'm the man standing on a pavement, riding on a bus, sitting on a train, looking at all you people thinking, you know what? I wonder what it's like to be you. To wake, to work, to eat, to sleep, to dream, to die. My story is so hot you're going to have to sit in a pool to read it. Welcome. And today, in the fishbowl with the fish, today I have a man who's been involved with youth clubs for the last 40 years, who's helped children and kids, girls and boys of all backgrounds, change their lives and help shape their lives and brought communities together. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to you to the man in the game. You know his name, Earl Whiskey. Bang! Here we go, enjoy the show. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah. Life treating you well?
Well, I can't complain, you know what I mean? I can't complain, I'm alive and I'm healthy.
So, tell the viewers now. So, let me ask you a question. You've been in the youth club 40 years. You've obviously seen very many changes over those years for successive governments. You see very many changes on the streets. So, let me ask you, for the viewers and their own, how did you actually, where did you start? Where did your life begin? How did you first get involved in youth clubs?
Well, a long time ago, I was about 15 years of age, and I was, you know what I was like. I was a bit hard to handle.
I don't know. tell the viewers.
You know, right. I was a bit hard to handle, and I was in a place called Southgrave, and I used to go to Southgrave regular, and Jerry Keys once called me aside and said to me, "You're a bit of a leader."
Who called you?
Jerry Keys. Who was Jerry Keys? Jerry Keys was the leader of the youth club at the time, the main brother, and he called me aside and he said to me, "You've got a choice in life because you're a leader, and you could either lead people around the bad way, or you could lead with a negative, or you could lead them in a positive." He said to me, "If you choose a positive, I will have you as a volunteer as a youth worker until you're 16. As soon as you're 16, I will pay you. Yeah, but it's your choice." And I made the choice to follow him and go into the youth work, and that's
right. So you had that choice. You made that choice. You went into youth work. I'm going to ask you, I know it's a funny question, maybe people ask all the time, but if you didn't make that choice, would you have ended up like me?
Possibly.
You think?
Possibly.
Or what?
Possibly. Because growing up at the time when we grew up, there was a lot of negativity, and people used to call it a chip on the shoulder, but the things that we went through them days... Can you
elaborate on the negativity for me, please?
Negativity, the racism. The racism. I mean, I tell people.
Did you see any racism?
I see it. I felt it. I lived in a time where I walking down the street and I regularly would hear someone shout out "jungle bunny, nigger," and I turn around and it's a panda car going past with a policeman hanging out. And I've told people that is the most racism I've received in my life, was incidents like that. Yeah, but I've also been fortunate. I've also had a lot of people that's actually been in my corner, supporting me and helped to push me to do better in life. So it's 6 to 1 and half a dozen the other with me.
So you've actually seen it. You've come
been there, I've done it, I've lived there.
Okay, so when you made that choice to go into youth work, what was the first thing you'd done? Like, you know, when you entered into the youth work itself.
The first thing I did was understand, because when I got into youth work, I understood what the young people, what their mentality was, what they were going through, so it made it easier for me to be able to sympathise with them. Not even so sympathise, you know, empathise with them is the word I'm looking for. And then I knew how to change behaviour to make it different, because I had lived the life and I've been on it.
Do you think because you had lived the life and you were young when you went into the youth work, do you think that helped you, as you said, understand them more and helped you how to resolve the problems that the youth that they were facing that time?
Yeah, because even though I went into that kind of work and I was working there, I was still living a certain life which drew me into the circles of things that was going on. So by having the knowledge of things that's going on, you can work to put things better a lot easier. If you haven't got that knowledge, then it's more harder.
Okay. What do you think youth clubs offered the community that we don't have now? So we don't have any youth clubs. So what at that time did they give the community?
I'll tell you something about youth work, and I'll tell you what people don't understand about youth work. And one of the things, youth work is a network of youth workers. It's not you work in a youth club. That doesn't leave you at that youth club. You have a network of youth club. So what would happen was, because we all are interlinked and we all know each other, all things, I would know something that's happening in a different borough an hour after it's happened. I would know something that's happening at a different youth club. So what that actually gave you was knowledge that you can actually act. The other good thing about youth workers at the time was, and a little bit later, was we were put in schools to do mentoring. So when you've got a situation and you've got an environment where you've got people working at night time in a youth club, so they're involved building up relationships with young people in their environment and in their settings, yeah, because they feel that they own the youth club, you know, we're just the workers there, no problem. So you're building up that relationship so they feel relaxed around you, they feel like they can trust you. Then what would happen was we'd be working in the schools. So if something happened the night before, we would be aware. So when we went into schools, we'd be able to deal with certain problems straight away early, so it didn't escalate. An example of that could be like, I mean, one example, I had a young person who had an argument with another youth from another school. And there was just going to be this big fight after school, everyone going to get stuck. But I found out about it the night before. So when the boy came into school, I called him into my office and I told him that I was aware of everything that's going on and I know and all the rest of it. What that did for that young person was he knew that a responsible adult knew what was going on. He knew that nothing could happen in the school because the school was aware of it, because someone, and he didn't have to tell me, right? So he never went and grasped no one, but I had that knowledge, so I went. I also could phone the school that the other person went to and talk to their people and let them know there was a situation so they could deal with it their side and then resolve the situation. That is the power of having youth workers and in the nightclubs, in the clubs at night time and in the schools. Yeah, it's a network of information that resolves situations before they escalate.
So Crash, how's your father? What you are saying is, as well as the police out there, the youth workers and the youth provided another sort of safety blanket for the community. So when things were happening, before it did reach the police stage, you lot managed
we could
to
intervene. Yeah. Right? And it could be, there's been occasions where I've had a phone call from Wood Green up in North London, yeah, and on the farm, yeah, where something has happened and they believe it might be connected to West London, and they would phone me and straight away we can start dealing with it. Once you broke that and once you started to close the youth clubs down, yeah, on top of closing police stations and things down, and having to taking the police off the streets, you then started to develop a completely different environment where you had an environment of youth clubs was ruled and governed by responsible adults. There was the police on the streets walking up and down where you could actually, they had the laws, so you had to follow the laws. You've now got no police on the streets and you've got no responsible adults, so we are now living there. Now the youths are living by jungle law. Yeah, and that is thing. I mean, one of the things that really gets me is when people say knife crime. Oh, stop and search. We're to stop them carrying a knife. If you've got no police on the street, you've got no adults on the streets, what would you expect the youths that's living in an environment where there's no protection and the only responsible adult they've got is somebody who's probably got, you know, who's probably is a main gang member or maybe a drugs dealer or something like that. A fight, an example, youth club. Fight breaks out in a youth club. Take the young people, take them in the office. What we do, we resolve the situation and we get a resolution. If you are on an estate, right, and the fight breaks out, you ain't getting no one resolving the situation. You're getting someone that might be handing you a knife, or the other person might have a knife. So you need to behave in a certain manner. Most of the youths don't want to do that. But you're now in a situation where that is the norm on the street, that is the law on the street. There's no one else to break that cycle, so we join into it. Yeah, and as I said to you, most of the young people I work with do not want that lifestyle, but have no other options to get away from it.
So, do you think how do you think, in your experience, and with the people you've worked with, how do you think Crash? How might I say? How do you? What do you think is the best way for to try and get youth clubs reintroduced back into the community, back into school, back into society?
Right, difficult one. And I personally tell you now. I'll tell you why.
I'm not going to make it easy.
I'll tell you why it's a difficult one. Because I've heard them talk about this 200 young people youth club, super youth clubs they want to build. Biggest load of nonsense I've ever heard in my life.
Okay. Slow it down a bit, just so we can you just make that a bit more clear? A bit,
right. There was this idea going around that there was going to have a super youth club. Speaking specifically in White City, where there's going to have 200 odd young people a night. That was the target group. Complete and utter insanity.
Sorry to interrupt you, because for the viewers and myself, we're naive to this game. So, when you say 200 people, is that what you just said?
Yeah, it was a super youth club. It was a big, massive youth club.
Where were they supposed to put
my understanding was it was going to be built in White City, which I thought was quite a scary scenario.
Okay, explain why, please.
200 young people in a youth club, right, in this environment where we are at this moment, is going to only attract the wrong type of people.
Doesn't make sense.
Right? You cannot police 200 young people or supervise 200 young people in the youth club. The youth club would have to be so big that there would be so many different areas that it'd be virtually impossible. Then what you would have is you would have different groups trying to take seniority in the place, like run the thing. So you'll have different groups trying to first dominate the place. So you'll have that war. Yeah. Then you'll have a recruiting ground for what have you. It would just be.
It would just escalate. What you're saying, it would just escalate everything that's already out there. Yeah. So all the postcode wars. I mean, how would all the postcode wars go to a youth club where there's 200?
That's the other thing. So whichever group dominates will probably whoever groups dominate will rule, and that would be their thing. So, there is solutions, and the thing for me, a solution is you can reintegrate, and we need to reintegrate.
Could you elaborate a bit slow and just tell us what your solutions are?
Right, I would say they can reopen youth clubs, but it has to be on a stricter basis. I would say it has to be under 16s.
Okay.
Because you need to re-establish.
Are you therefore saying all over 18s have gone past the sell-by?
I would say, as far as the youth club is concerned, to open the youth club how we knew it, yes.
I see.
Yes, because
so you've already. I mean. Are you writing the over 18s off then?
No, I'm not writing them off. We're talking about. Well, what we're talking about is youth clubs. If we're talking about Pacific youth clubs, then I'm saying 18. You need to write off. You need to start with the younger ones, get them registered, have them registered. So they come with their parents, they register, and it is not a drop-in. It is a registered thing. That way, you're actually getting a secure environment, and you can start to re-engage the youth with the ethos of youth clubs and start working. I'm not writing off the 18, but what I'm saying is, if you're 18-year-old and you've been living a certain life for the last year and a half, how are we going to be able to make a safe environment for the other youngsters coming through when they've got that mentality? There is other things that we can do to support them young people, and I'll come on to that a little later.
This is why we need these guys. This is why I brought him here today, because we also need you. This is not about us two sitting here. This is about you coming back to us and helping us to help each other, so we can help you. To try and get this night crime and the problems on the street resolved. So the next question I'd like to say, Crash, how's your father? Don't forget the crash, and always remember the how's your father. The next thing I'd like to ask you, before you go on to what you was just about to go on to, I want to ask you a question, because I'm sitting and I'm listening to him, and he's doing good work, but the thing I really want to know is, Crash, how does it make you feel as a youth worker to be helping people and see success stories? How do you feel, man?
Right. I tell you honest truth, that's a really fair question, because 90% of the young people, because I worked for Hammersmith or Fulham, I've grown in Hammersmith or Fulham, I live in Hammersmith or Fulham, so to me it's a kind of different feeling because it's a lot of my friends and my family and all my people, children that I'm working with, right? It has a double kind of thing because it's really easy to work with them and it's rewarding, but also because they can see the connection between me and their parents and their older siblings and stuff, it makes life a lot easier. So to me, working is a pleasure to work with them. I don't think joy for working kind of
people, I mean, do you know these kids you want to actually come around and say, yes, Earl, gangster, and no, what I mean is... No, I can talk to them better than that. Alright, Jack,
I know what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying, you don't do them.
The greatest thing for me is walking street, and it happens every single day. And people come up to me, they hug me, they see me, and I ain't got a clue who they are because them grow up because they still think at 15 they're now 25 or 30, and I'm gonna still remember exactly what they look like. But let me tell you something now. Greatest feeling in the world is when you walk down the road and you talk to somebody and they just there and they say, "What are you up to?" And they say to you, "Oh, I'm working, doing this, I'm doing that," and they're doing something positive. There's nothing sweeter than that feeling. You know what I mean? So, it's rewarding.
So, you was going to now tell us about some solutions? Or
as I say, with the youth club, because we have to have a solution, but we could tell you all the problems. Let's look for solutions.
When you say solutions, which is a hard one, isn't it, solutions? People always say,
it's not hard.
Oh, it's not hard?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Here we go, enjoy the show. Easy on the mic. And mine, how you go? Hear the man.
It's hard for the people who don't know what they're doing, right? And in positions because they know people, but they don't know what they're doing. Right. We get back to the youth club. You register the youngster ones, you get them to be, they come there with their mum, they register with their mum, they come into the environment, you have your cameras to keep the building secure, right? You give them a safe space. You ask for 2 police officers, to patrol half an hour before the club open and half an hour after it's open to keep this area safe, to remove all the negativity away. And half an hour before the club closed and half an hour after it closed, you have 2 police for 2 hours in a night to keep the place, so you've got a safe environment. Them young people go, they register, their parents, you have them on the register, they have their rules and regulations, they sign up to it, the parents know. As they get older, they continue in the youth club, and that's how you move up the age groups. By then they've settled and they know exactly what's expected of them and all the rest of it. So you've got that. Now we need to come on to the 18-year-olds and
here we go, enjoying the show.
No, but I'm not only going to say 18-year-olds. I'm actually going to put this into the category of disaffected pupils in schools as well, because we need to start with them as well as the older ones.
May I just interrupt you one second? Okay. Disinfected. I love that word, don't you? We use it all the time. Disinfected. Disinfected. Can you kind of, for me, the donut boys, can you explain?
I'm talking about the pupils who, in mainstream school, have, for one reason or another, been excluded and have to go to pupil referral units and other units to get their education.
Oh, so why are they called disinfected? What? That's what I'm trying to say.
Because
what's disinfected?
Disaffected. Let's say to me, I kick you out of a school and I send you to another school, right? Are you going to be overjoyed with it and jumping up and want to go there and want to be 100% and feel confident about your future and all the rest?
Okay.
You're disaffected because you must be disaffected.
Is it disaffected or disinfected?
Disaffected.
Okay, you see. Now me, that's what I was saying. I always thought the word was disinfected. That's why I was getting confused.
You're talking about bleach.
This is why. I've never used bleach. But that's why I had to ask this guy, and that's why I need to know. Because if I don't know, I think you don't know. But then, who am I?
No, it's just true, and I think so. So that we've got to start with that group.
Okay.
What we need to do, and what I'm trying to do at the moment, and this is a project that I've actually started with, right? What I would like to do is when they are first sent to a pupil referral unit, we take them as...
What is sorry to interrupt you, I do apologise for those who don't know, what is a pupil?
It's a place where young people has been permanently excluded from mainstream school, so they go there to get their education. A lot of the time, they don't get the full week's education. They might be on a part-time basis because of, for one reason or another, maybe they can't cope with a whole day at school. It could be various reasons. But My concern is that group of young people at this moment in time, because they are getting sent to these places, and what's happening is they go there the first couple of weeks. I think, from my experience, they're confused, they're upset that they're not going to think, they begin to feel that they have no future, and they are worried. And I think that's a good time to engage them, right, and work with them and show them that there are major companies out there who want to work with these young people and thing. At this moment in time, I have been working with Sony Records, Columbia Records, Island Records, RCA, and Universal. I've been working with Queen's Park Rangers, Crystal Palace. We have got the London Screen Arts College on board that is offering drama and media and all things. Right? We have got London, we've got Ealing Studios, we've got Workwise. There is a number of clubs, Coca-Cola. They are offering young people work experiences, stuff like that. Now, one of the reasons why we've engaged with this is because the pupils in a pupil reversion, we have to look at it in a holistic approach. Me and you are friends. If I say to you, oh, they've got me a work experience at Tesco's, what's your first reaction? And no disrespect to Tesco's, because I've got this work, right? And I think, well, what's your first thing?
As just using Tesco's as
an example, right? What would be your reaction?
Right. Well, for me, having worked in Tesco's as wines and spirits supervisor.
No, but as a young person. Work experience. Now, if I turn around and say to you, I've got a work experience at Sony Records, Coca-Cola. Right? What is the difference in reaction? And to get young people.
Me personally, I'll be running the Tesco's.
And I'll keep you there. Right? But what we need to do is we need to look at their friends and so we need a domino effect. If one of their friends says, "Wow, where did you get that? I want to do that," you start to win the battle. Because once their friend says, "Yeah, I want to do that," then they feel I've got something that everyone wants, and you're going to get a better outcome. Companies are important, and we need to give the wow factor to these young people to remove them from where they're going.
I do agree with you, and I've heard you and I'm listening. Just let me just because there's going to be people out there listening and watching this, and I just want to kind of you see, for me, I mean, you did ask me whether you want to work at Tesco, what would you think, or whether you work at Sony, and I do understand that, but would you not say that? I mean, just let me finish. Would you not say that Crash, that Tesco still offers, where you learn how to work with people, mix with people, how to work with the public, how to timekeeping, the number. Do you not get those things from Tesco's as well?
Yes, you do, and there is nothing actually working with Tesco, but you've got to remember the young people.
Or supermarkets.
Any form of supermarket,
supermarkets.
Right. But you've also got to remember the young people that we are working with, and they are easily influenced by other people. So if his friend is saying to you, "What are you going to go Tesco for? Why do that? That's rubbish." You're less likely to go and keep doing it. Or you might go the first couple of days and come away. If your friend really wants to do what you're doing, you're going to be more encouraged to keep it up. It's been proven.
Okay, so are you therefore saying to me in one hand that you work with special people? Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you therefore saying to me that some of the people you work with are disinfected already, and then you've taken them and
no, the people I target are the ones who possibly have lost faith in the education system, lost faith in society. So it's looking at the ones who are basically giving up and say, well, I might as well go and stand up on a street corner and sell things because I have no future. We need to give them a future before they leave school.
Yeah. So in a way, I mean, I could be wrong here. Crash has your father. I understand that, and that I could be wrong. But so are you telling me that a lot of these people, and not just these people, are you telling me that the youth of today and youngsters of today are expecting a higher standard of living. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because let me just because you know, like we said, working in supermarkets, they might think it's a bit beneath them, especially if their friends come. Are you therefore saying that nowadays youth and that look at, wouldn't be surprising the way that the country's gone, look for more prestigious jobs?
All right. Yeah. So why should our young people and people that have been, let's say, excluded from education thing, only have Tesco and Sainsbury's and supermarkets to aim for? Why can't they aim for higher, and then, because Tesco's and Sainsbury's ain't going nowhere, so that's always a safety net. Yeah, but raise your expectations, aim for the top, and if you can't, then you've got a safety net. Yeah, but for us just to show them that that's all they're fit for. Yeah.
I see. So you're coming from a different direction, because there are many people that work for supermarkets, and we're not. Please,
I'm not knocking it. Yeah.
We're not knocking Tesco. I'm not going to say. It's just that I used to work for Tesco. Brilliant employment, brilliant time when I did work there. Got arrested there fighting all their shoplifters. But hey, it's another story. Cry. But what I'm saying to him, I mean, you know, there are people out there would say working in super is a great job. You meet lots of people, and it's a good career job.
And it is a great job, and it is a great career job, and it is basically that you can step up and you can get managers and you can move up. That's not a problem. What my thing would be is, why would we say to a young person, that's all you're going to aim to. That's all you can achieve.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You've got young people out there. They might have dreams of being professional footballers.
Yeah.
They can't make a professional footballer. They could be a coach. They could be a physio. They could be a dietitian. You've got people in there that enjoy music. They love music. They may not ever be on stage, but they could manage. They could produce. They could work for A&R. There is other areas. There is so much. Yeah. There is no limit to where our young people, and just because you've been excluded from school, I would tell someone something, right? That's never been revealed. I was excluded from school.
Well, yeah, so was I. No, I was, but then I got
twice, primary and secondary.
There you go. Yeah? The bad guys always turn into the good guys.
And I was always told, I went to a school called Christopher Wren, wicked school. Big up all the Wren people.
Every Compton's better than Christopher Wren. Trust me.
And I remember teachers used to point to Wormwood Scrubs and say to me, that's where I'm going to end up. And there was a lot of time where I thought, I don't care if I end up in prison, because that's what everyone was expected of me. Jerry Keys saved me from that road. As I said, it takes one person to actually have faith in you to move your way. Now, if Jerry Keys had come to me and he said to me, I can get you a job filling shelves in a supermarket, would I have taken any notice of him?
No.
But he gave me a job with responsibility that was, that showed faith in me. And that's what I'm saying. Let's give the youths more expectations of themselves. Let's show them. Let's take the Coca-Cola. I've taken groups down to their automated plant up in Edmonton for engineering. Yeah. Now, the place is the size of 25 football pitches. Yeah. There's only about 50 people work there. It's all automated on computers. Yeah. But
brilliant.
How much are they earning in them jobs? 52. They're starting on 40 grand a year. Yeah. Right now, Coca-Cola are there, happy to give young people opportunities. They're the kind of things that we want to do. Now, if you don't make it at Coca-Cola, there's always steps you could fall backwards. It's just like, I'll give you an analysis of football. Yeah. I remember when I was playing football, someone said to me, "Why would you want to play for a Division 2 club when you can play for a Premiership club? Because if you play for a Premiership club and you don't make it, you can fall to the Championship, Division 1 and Division 2. If you're in Division 2 and you don't make it, you're going non-league. Yeah. Same with the young people. If you aim at the top to be Prime Minister and you don't make it, you could be an MP, a councillor. Yeah. If you aim to be a councillor and you don't make it, you're not going to be an MP. You're going to fall down, and you're going to be a voter. So let's give them that expectation where they can make it to the top, and if they don't, we take the next level down.
Okay, crash as your fire. I'm saying that crash as a proper crash, because do you know what I've noticed here? A lot of those cases come out of you, but which shows you're passionate. So you know what I'd really love to know from you is how did you get in touch with Coca-Cola and these big companies and start that road?
Okay. number of ways of it, because you find it's like everything is a domino effect. I knew quite a few people in the music industry that's always looked after it. It's Island Records with Julian Palmer and Darkest Thieves, and them. They've always took work experience. They've always done workshops in the schools for me at Henry Compton School. Funny enough.
Did they?
Yeah.
How come I don't sing any? How come I can't sing any reggae then? I can't sing any.
Because you're a lot older than me, right? So.
But you look it.
Hard life, son. Right. So what it is that they will do things, and then they will say to me, like Julian Palmer, I was in a lift. Yeah, this woman got in the lift. He said to me, "Oh, you might want to meet this woman. Stacey, meet Earl, meet Stacey. She's head of Sony Records."
Right.
I said, "What do you do?" I said, "Build this." She said, "Let's have a meeting. Let's see where we can help."
Wicked.
That's the kind of things. QPR, right? I've gone up to Josh Scott and them. Right? I've said to them, I've got young people going to college at the moment, but they got no financial support. They ain't gonna get nothing from it. Can we get match day work for any person that I sign up and they go to college? Can we get match day jobs? He gave me 10 positions straight away, turnstiles, stewarding, what have you. Yeah. Now that means that when they go to college, they know when I sign up for college, I'm not just signing up for college and leaving them. They can get a little job, earn some money, right, which is going to give them financial support, which is going to maintain them while they're in college.
Do you know what? I think that's a testament to you as a person as well. And when I say that, what I'm talking about is people can see your passion, your genuinity, and people can see, you know, that you're respectful. And I think that's what's really helped you as well, you know, because you know most people look for that in a person, and now a lot of people don't know how to be respectful. They don't know how to protect that. And I think yourself, you've done wonders. And from where you've just said you've come from, and to what you've turned into, I think that is as well has done you know, wonders to get you to where you are today.
I could say to you that yes, to a certain degree, but then you've got to have that support structure. And when you talk to people, when I talk to people in the music industry, when I talk to the Phil Witts and all them people, and the encouragement they give me, Jordan, Bob, all them people, it actually encourages you. When you go to, you know, Angela Monk at Workwise, right, with the Ealing Studios and stuff, you know, Rochelle at London School of London Screen Academy. I got to get it right.
Not LSE, not LSE.
Yeah. But you understand. Them people, they are so enthusiastic to give young people opportunities that you've got something to bounce off, which keeps you enthusiastic.
How do parents use anybody listening to this show? Anybody like wants to get involved? How do they get hold of you, or where do they find information? Not just you, but where do they place in the community? You know, recreation or council. Or where can we go to get access to this information?
Right, I tell you the problem, the slight problem that I have with the thing is that because I rely on funding, and I rely on referrals. So I mean, I was funded prior the lockdown.
Please continue about funding and how you got funding and how it
Well, I put a proposal because I spoke to all the companies and I spoke to all the different companies. I can't forget Sharon Blyfield at Coca-Cola, because she's been brilliant as well, right?
Crash.
You know, so you talk to these the companies, you put some packages together, you say what you'd like to do in the community with the kids and all the rest. I'll give an example with the QPR one and the Crystal Palace one. I said we've got young people going to college, they've got no financial support, they're not getting no financial support from home, and their age means they can't get universal credit or no funding. So we put together this program where they can come and work and they can earn money, which will help them when they're at college. Yeah. So things like that, but the funding came through the council. Now they're giving me little pots of money to work with children's services, and children's services are making the referrals and all the rest of it and stuff. Since the COVID, a lot of it's well, obviously the funding's dried up. So what I've been doing, I've been still working with the companies because it's young people, lives at risk and at stake, right? And I don't want to lose the opportunities and stuff. But funding has been a major problem. Right. It's very difficult.
Okay. Now I'm going to take you back a little bit. Why did youth clubs disappear in the first place? I mean, the people say cutbacks. I mean, is that true? Or
I thought it was insanity. It did right, and I'll tell you exactly. It did not, because I was probably part of some of the meetings. What actually happened was they closed the buildings where youth clubs were, and they moved them into secondary schools. Yeah, right. But the problem that you had and I always pointed out.
Sorry to interrupt you. May I ask you why they did that?
That is probably some government. That was Boris Johnson's decision when he was mayor of London.
Okay.
And it was just another one of his bad decisions. But what it was, they moved the youth clubs into the schools. But what it did was, it meant that if you did not go to that school, you could not attend the youth club.
Okay, yeah, it's ridiculous.
And then it meant that if you went to school, if you was out of borough or you was working, you couldn't use the youth club.
That's dividing us up again, isn't it?
So basically, and what it also did, it was used as an after-school facility, as opposed to no other young person could come in to the school to use the youth facility. So it was never going to work.
Yeah. What's the point of doing that?
But then, you know. And the other thing that happened was a lot of the youth work budgets got disappeared within the school budget, so it went to buy computers and stuff. So half the youth clubs weren't resourced properly anyway, because the schools were taking the money from it. So that was a disastrous thing, and that was, to me, one of the major contributing factors to starting all these problems we have on the road now.
You said something to me again I'd like a lot of viewers to know, because it's very educated. And when I spoke on Knife Crime, remember I told you I just got up and done it raw. Even now I like everything raw, so crash as your father. But there was one thing this guy said to me, and I loved what he said. And I'm going to ask him now to explain it now. You said to me, Fish, if you're put in a jungle, and if you just put in a jungle, what's the first thing you're going to do? So can you explain maybe this Knife Crime in that way? To me? Thank you.
Basically, what my philosophy is, the way I look upon it, right? If you take away a safe environment of a youth club, so I finished school, I finished college, I finished work, I've got this safe environment, I've got no safe environment to go no more, right? Now I've got nothing to do with crime, nothing to do with knives, nothing to do with gangs or anything. Then you remove the police stations and you take all the police off the street and you remove them. So you've got a situation where when a young person comes in and they want to go out for some recreational time, they need to, and they go on an estate, let's say on an estate, they go to the cage to play basketball. What are the type of people